Modern day smartphones are pretty cool, aren't they? But I'm sure you missed the era where you could just replace the battery of your phone just like you would replace the battery of your remote. Just like the batteries on your flashlight, the lithium-ion batteries present in our phones have a finite lifespan, and eventually they all have to be replaced. But a few years ago, it was as simple as opening the body of your device and getting a new battery in its place. So while the era of user-replaceable batteries was pretty awesome, it had to die. But what if there are some phones that you can still use in 2021? After searching for a very long time, I found a few smartphones that can be used for pretty much basic needs. Starting with this one. This is the Moto E6s. Looks pretty good, doesn't it? It's the most advanced smartphone that I could find, which was released in 2020, and it still has a user-replaceable battery. It supports pretty much everything that you want. It has even a modern dewdrop notch kind of a design, and yeah, this thing will last you easily for the next few years. I don't think the target consumer for a removable battery phone will be worrying about the general specs, but here they are on the screen if you want. But this thing has everything that you need, like a headphone jack. This is one of the rare examples where the marketing jargon that companies give is actually true. This is one of the rare phones that actually give you a no compromise experience with a removable battery. Pretty much the second best thing you can get is the Nokia 1.3. It's not the latest and greatest phone, it's running Android Go, which is not my favorite OS. But again, the target audience, I'm assuming, may not worry too much about the software. This thing has LTE and everything you want, so even in the era of 5G, you will be just fine as long as there is a 4G signal. Just like the Moto E6s, the design is pretty modern with a pretty large 5-inch display and a dewdrop notch, so yeah, you won't have an outdated experience while using this thing. It's also very affordable, one of the most affordable phones you can get, so yeah, that's an added advantage. Honestly, the first two are pretty much the only good options in this list, but there are a few honorable mentions, like this Galaxy J4 from 2018. Samsung has this weird naming scheme where they used to combine year with their names, so the Galaxy J4 of 2019 or 20 is completely different from this one. This thing has a removable back, while the newer ones don't, so yeah, be a little careful when you're out shopping for one of these. The specs are decent, the display is good, again it has most features that you would want like LTE and everything. And in case you can't find that, you could go for this one, the Galaxy J2 Core. Both of them came out in 2018 and they have fairly good hardware and software. Now you probably saw this image in the starting screen, that's the LG V20. And this will be my final suggestion, like if you can find one, you can try to go for a flagship from the era of 2015 or 2014. LG V20 and some similar phones like the LG G5 or even the Galaxy S5 from 2014 were some top tier phones. They all had great features and removable batteries, of course, which you can still kind of use in 2021. You see, smartphones don't really die that easily. The only thing that deteriorates is the battery, and since these batteries are replaceable, you can just replace them and keep on using them. The V20 had fantastic features like a high-end DAC that the LG was famous for, and the Galaxy S5, even though it had a removable back, it was IP68 water resistant. The only downside is that that phone didn't have 4G. So if you're gonna buy something from Samsung back in 2014 or so, especially a flagship like the S5 or the Note 4, I'm not sure, but I think the Note 4 may have had 4G, but the S5 definitely did not. So yeah, be careful with that. Again, these are the ideal case options in case you find one for a good price. I'm sure you'll find it for like dirt cheap nowadays. But if you don't want to deal with these outdated stuff and you want to stick with something that came out in 2020 or 2019, then stick with the first 2 or 3 options I gave you. That's it. Those were some of the last options you could buy in 2021 if you want a phone with a removable battery. If you have any more suggestions, then leave them in the comments down below, or you could even join our Discord from the description.